live stream of mine. Today I'm going to be going to Disneyland to celebrate the 70th anniversary. Disneyland opened 70 years ago today, so it's a big deal down there. I am doing a little retro ear theme today, so the theming of the makeup is going to be blue. It's going to be a light makeup day, kind of, sort of, because it is summertime. It's hot out here, and I don't really put as much makeup on as I do in the winter and spring months. But I'm excited to do another live stream. It's been a minute since I've done one, so I'm excited to be back. So let's get into it. As always, my face has already been prepped, so my skincare is already done, and now all I need to do is sunscreen, which is part of your skincare, but I keep my sunscreen in my makeup drawer. So today I think I'm gonna be going in, let's go in with a little Sun Bum, the Face 50. This is just a little bit more hydrating than the Daily Gel and the Unseen Sunscreen that I usually do. And since it is so hot, I do change up my skincare too. I usually do face oils, but when it's hot like this, I change up my serums to more lighter weight serums. So today I put on the Beekman Probiotic serum, which I'm not a huge fan of, if I'm being honest. I don't feel like it really does much, but I am using it because I am gonna do a review on it. And so all the products that I review, I do use, and I use until they're empty, or I use them for like at least a month. So everything that I review is an honest opinion, and it's an honest trial. Like, I do use it for a good amount of time before I let you guys know my thoughts on it. Okay, so the sunscreen's blended. We are going to be going in with primer today because it is a sticky day. Even though I'm not going to be doing a foundation, I still want to do a little primer. So for primer today, we're using That Gal. This has been discontinued. I'm trying to finish it, so we're gonna just grab a little bit today. This is by Benefit Cosmetics, and it's Pink to Brighten. And then, if you guys have never seen a live stream of mine where when I get ready to go to Disneyland, I don't do makeup on my forehead because I wear a hat. So that's why you won't see me applying any makeup to my forehead. And then just a little bit more primer in the center where makeup tends to separate. Okay. So now that we're sunscreened and primed, we're gonna start going in. Oh, actually, let me do my eyelid primer before I forget. We're using a little tiny sample of the Urban Decay primer potion. And this is okay. It works. It gets the job done. But it's not like my prime time. I really liked my Benefit. Not my Benefit. My Bare Minerals Prime Time. That stuff worked all day. So it blends super easily, super quickly, and I always just blend that in with a finger. Okay, so now that that's primed, I'm gonna go with a little bit of primer under there, and then I'm gonna do a color corrector. My dark circles are really bad this week, so definitely need a little bit extra color corrector today. And I'm just gonna blend that in with my Real Technique sponge. And that's not gonna conceal. it just kind of helps to brighten and offset the dark circles. I will go in with a concealer as well. But already that looks a lot better, a lot more awake, a lot less dehydrated. And then I love this little sponge because it doesn't absorb makeup, so you don't lose a lot of product when you use that. And it doesn't need to be wet. That's another reason why I like that. Okay, so now let's move on to eyes. Like I said, the theme of the eyes is going to be blue to go with the ears and then with the dress that I'm going to be wearing. So let's go in. We're going to go in with a very fitting Toy Story palette. This is a ColourPop one. And I haven't used this hardly at all. But we're going to go in with that one right there. So let's... Actually, before we do that, let's throw a little base down. I'm just going to go in with a Natasha Denona, that nude color right there. And just grab a little bit. And just do a light dusting all over the eye. By putting down a base, it's going to let your eyeshadows blend a lot better when you're trying to blend them together. And it just kind of gives you a more balanced palette to work with, especially if you're like me and you have a lot of discoloration in your eyes. So just kind of gives you a very nudie flesh look to put your eyeshadow on top of. Let's see. I do want to do a liner. What liner do I want? This is a little tricky for me because this blue is a little too deep, or maybe not. Let's do this one. This one might be perfect. So I do my eyeliner first. I do like a little track. Just to lay it down so that I know where it's gonna go. And then I do my eyeshadow and then I do another layer just to brighten up this track that I laid down. So this is just a very rough application. When we are done with the eye look, we're going to come back in and clean this up. Okay, so now that that's laid down, now we're going to go in with our eyeshadows. Let's see. So many options. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go in with this Urban Decay and use that one right there. I can find my brush. Here it is. So for this, I'm just using a little paddle because this glitter, you can't really glide it on. This has to be pressed on. And I decided to go with this one because it's kind of like a color shifting shadow. So it has like little undertones of pink and purple and blue. And if you guys haven't watched my live streams for Disney before, I go all in with the glitter. So for my Disney days, very glittery. And a lot of this is dropping. That's what I'm saying about you can't really like glide it on. It has to be pressed in. Okay, so for that, just gonna flick those little pieces that fell away. We'll clean that up later. Or not. We'll see if it gets covered up somehow. Okay. Okay, so that's looking really pretty. I did have a lot of fallout, but that's okay. We'll call it highlighter. Okay. I feel like this eye has more, so I have to add a little bit more to this side. This palette by Urban Decay has long been discontinued, but it's one of my favorites because all the colors inside are like this very shimmery, glittery, color changing, and I love that. Okay, so now that that is done, let's go in with a little bit of a darker blue for the corners. Let's see what I have for that. We're gonna go in with another color pop. Let's try this one right here. It's like a teal, like a tealish blue, but I think it goes with the vibes. So let's try it. Yeah, this is perfect. It's almost exactly the same color as my ears. Okay, so with that paddle brush again, I'm just gonna grab a little bit and apply right above the liner. And it is more work to do it this way, to apply the liner first, but I do this because I feel like when I apply the liner after the eyeshadow, on top of the eyeshadow, it doesn't adhere as well, and so I get it like in my crease throughout the day, or it'll just like won't stay put. So for me, since I have very hooded eyes, that eyeliner is right where that crease is on both of those eyes. So for me, it just works better when I apply the liner first. I feel like it stays better and I don't have to worry about it getting in the creases. This blue is really pretty. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna grab a little with that little paddle brush and just apply some right where that eyeliner ends. Okay, I'm not done with that blue. I'm gonna use it for liner, but I'm done with it for now. So let's close that up. And then, I'm trying to see what color I wanna do for my inner corner. I actually think I'm gonna use a highlighter for my inner corner. I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty, the Side Chick Liquid Kilowatt. This is a highlighter, but it's thick enough to be used as a eyeshadow. I'm trying to think of what brush I want to do this with. I think this one will work. Going in with that padded brush again. I'm just using a very tiny bit. You can't even see, but it's a very small amount. This was not the right brush. Let me try. Oh, let me clean it first. Almost put the blue back on. Let me try and use this to kind of feather it out. Okay. There we go. Okay. So again, going in with a little highlighter. Just a tiny bit. And then once that's there, I'm gonna flip over and use the blending side. To just blend that in. Okay. What is all this? How come it's not blending? Creams can be kind of tricky to blend because once they dry down, they don't blend as nice, which is why I hardly ever do this. There we go. Looks a lot better now. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I'm liking that. So now, let me clean my brush. And by clean, I just mean wipe off the extra on the back of my hand. So for the top, I'm gonna go in with a soft pink. Trying to see what pink I want. I'm gonna go in with this shimmery shade right here. This is Save the World. It's another ColourPop shade, and I picked this one because it has glitter and it's very nude. And I'm just gonna pop that right there. So now that upper brow doesn't look naked. Okay. That's really pretty. It looks so pretty. I love all the shimmer. And like I said, it's a Disney day, so we're bringing out all the shimmer. Okay, so now that that's done, now let's go in and fix the liner. So for this, I'm gonna get a little closer. So now I can actually do it properly. Okay. It's hard to fill in with this. This is one of the NYX color liners. But the applicator is so fine. It does take a little bit to fill in. So let's do a little bit more on this side. Okay. Okay, the eyes are pretty much done. We'll look down, let that dry for a little bit. Now let's pick out our concealer for today. I'm gonna try, this is a new, this is they're calling it a foundation, a concealer foundation. And I had the hardest hardest time color matching because the colors are very like yellowy, very warm. So this is the coolest one. This is shade 15. And I'm not cool, I'm not the coolest tone. Like I'm very medium. So for me to find this to be the closest match is like pretty sad because this is the lightest color. But the next ones up were too warm, too orange. Even this one like is very warm. So L'Oreal, kindly fix your shade matches on these because that should not be your lightest shade. That's orange. That's very orange. So I do like it because it does stay put, which is what it's supposed to do. And you do have to blend it pretty quickly. And then once it stays, it dries, it stays. It does not crease. But like this is my shade and this is the lightest shade available. So for all the girlies out there who are lighter than me, I don't know what you're doing with this because if I had gone a shade up, this would be too orange, too dark. This is the lightest shade should not be my color. I'm very medium. I do like the formula. It blends really easily. You do have to blend it in right away because it does dry down. I have a hard time with creasing under my eye. And I do find that this doesn't crease as easily or as much as other concealers. So, I mean, I do like it. I just feel like they need to go back in and develop more colors. My dark circles are so bad today. I'm going in with extra. Okay. A little bit down here too. It does have a smell. It does have a very strong odor, which I don't like. It smells very chemically. So that I don't like. But I do like that it stays all day and it doesn't crease. So, I don't know. I haven't done a review on this yet because I'm still testing it out. But I will be doing a review on my channel once I develop an opinion on it. I just don't have one of those yet. Okay, let's go in with tinted moisturizer from Bare Minerals. This is another one I'm trying to finish. We're almost done. This is the Complexion Rescue. This has been around forever. This one's almost done, so I'm trying to finish it. Okay. Just gonna blend this out with a little brush. And then just a little up here. For tinted moisturizers, I usually just blend in with my hand because it's a lot faster. This takes so long. Getting a lot of separation on my nose. I wonder if it's because it's not mixing with the concealer very well. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, this I'm gonna have to just blend out with my fingers because my brush is not working. But look at how it's separating right here. I wonder if it's sticking to the concealer and not blending out like it should be, which would make sense. Let me just put a little bit here. Yeah, it definitely is sticking. So like I said about that concealer, I'm still testing it out. I haven't formed an opinion on it, but I never have this problem when I use other concealers. It's giving cakey. I'm not liking this. The coverage is like so weird. Okay. I'm gonna try that concealer again with another tinted moisturizer or like a foundation and see if that happens again. So I fixed it for the most part, but it's still giving cakey. Okay. It didn't blend in with my tinted moisturizer very nicely. That kind of sucks because that messed up my look. Okay, moving on. Let's see, what can we do? We definitely need blush. What color do I want? I want a soft pink. So we're gonna go in with this blush from Benefit. This is Hervana. This is discontinued. Now I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the tinted moisturizer or what. It could be that. But it's kind of lifting where I'm applying my blush. And then I always just do like a little bit of blush under my eyes to kind of warm the area up a little bit. And then a little on my nose. Definitely gonna have to do some product testing on that concealer because like it lifted all my foundation powder that I had there. So I don't know. That's never happened before. I've been using that tinted moisturizer forever and that's never been an issue. So I don't know if it just didn't mix well with the concealer or what's going on, but I'm gonna have to try that again in another video and see if it happens again. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the eyes. I said I wasn't done because I wasn't. I wanted to finish my face and then go back over. I'm gonna take another bit of that blue and get a super little brush. You can use like a eyebrow brush too. This is probably the one I use. I'm gonna go in with that blue that we used earlier, this one right here, and I'm gonna just line the bottom of my lid. So there you go. Take a little bit more. Okay. Okay. So now we're done with that. Now let's move on to mascara. I'm not gonna mess around with my mascara, so going in with my favorite, my YSL Lash Clash. And then very carefully apply. Then I have a hair right here. There we go. This always takes me part of the makeup. Okay. Let me fix this side. This side is my troubled side. Better, kinda, sorta. That side always gives me problems. Okay. I love the Lash Clash. That one's drying up, but I have more. That one's reaching the last little bit of its life. Okay, so now we'll let that dry. I'm gonna go in with some highlighter. I was gonna use the Killawatt, the